The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Rapid Sales Accelerator. If you're ready to skyrocket your sales by 30% or more in just 90 days, then you need to claim your free training right now. You'll learn 4 words that will compel your prospects to trust you like they were children within the first 3 to 5 minutes of any conversation across any platform and any medium. You'll learn how to give your prospects objection amnesia, to crush objections like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need more time to think it over, or it's too expensive. If you'd like to claim your free training now, go to www.paulrossbook.com. Do it before your competition does it now. Welcome to the Influencer's Edge. This is the place where you come to get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques to leapfrog over the pack in sales, persuasion, and influence. Be sure you visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com. And while you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, tune in, and enjoy today's episode. All right, welcome back to the Influencer's Edge, the show that disconnects the dots, colors outside the lines, and thinks outside the box. I am here with my very special guest, Vegas. I love that name, Vegas Hampton. And also, we have another guest joining us who's blurred out. That black lump is my new cat, La Lele. She's a punk. She'll try to walk on the keyboard. So I hope you're patient with that. And also, also my bronchitis, which is the remnants of a cold. So let's whip through your bio. You are a Miami-based PR specialist. I assume that stands for public relations.
That's
at
right.
Ace Branding. You've got your finger on the pulse of the nation's most fascinating leaders and entrepreneurs. How come I'm not on there? You thrive, excuse me, on crafting strategies for philanthropists, thought leaders, executives, and visionaries, giving the country's most ambitious voices a megaphone to reach the world. Your knack for marketing and selling was practically baked into you. From class president, someone was a popular child. You were not bullied or harassed like I was. What was your secret, Mr. Popular?
Oh, I was bullied, but I laughed through it, and it made people like me at the other end of it.
Excuse me. Sir, you put my phone on airplane mode. Yeah, I made people laugh too. Giving the country's blah, blah, blah. Launching his own business while in college. You cut your teeth in social media marketing in Raleigh, North Carolina. Nice place. Ranking up over 1 billion impressions. On what platforms did you get 1 billion impressions?
TikTok and Instagram. I was brought on to the Wolf of Wall Street's team, and we were tasked with revitalizing his social media. And he was getting anywhere between 100 to 500,000 views. And when I came on board, we were breaking 10 million on each post consistently, and it
Hey,
mounted to well over a
Jordan
billion
Belfort,
impressions.
right?
That's right.
What was that guy like? I picture him as a psychopath, or what was he like? You can talk about it.
What I'll say is the movie was accurate, and
Oh,
Leonardo
gee.
DiCaprio did an incredible job. And if you watch the movie, you have a pretty good idea as to what this guy's character is. He's a character, and I've got some fun stories, some good, some bad, but overall, it was an amazing experience. And working with Jordan was an interesting experience for sure. But I learned a tremendous amount.
Okay, I'm sure you also signed the NDA and can't talk about it.
I'm a little obligated to
All
to
right,
keep.
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You are at Ace Branding and you help raise over $5 million for companies like Da Vinci Energy. That sounds interesting. What does Da Vinci Energy do?
That was a solar company based out of Boston, Massachusetts. They since have reincorporated into Colossus Energy, but I was an integral part of their media and marketing team to really just put them on the map with the media campaigns that we were able to run. We attracted over 1,000 recruits, sales representatives that led to some explosive growth for a startup, doing well over $10 million in revenue in about 3 years, in large part because of the campaigns we put together.
Apartment rock star? That's a juxtaposition of two words you don't normally see together.
That's Robert Martinez. He is a rock star. He's a commercial real estate owner based out of Texas, and had a huge book of business, but was interested in also teaching others, his methodologies. And so I was tasked with getting him into the public wavelengths, and we did a really good job of that. Got him featured in some top podcasts like Bradley's Dropping Bombs, which has over 150,000 views on YouTube, and amongst very many a lot of features we were able to accomplish for him. It was awesome.
Isn't it true though, the videos that have the most views on YouTube are funny cats? You know that one, I love cats. I love
That's so
cats.
true.
I want to hug all cats, but I can't hug them all.
I
That
think it goes to show that people want to be entertained, Paul. We're all here as creators trying to put out value into the marketplace. But if you're not entertaining, if you're not fun, then what's the point? People aren't going to pay attention.
here's my rendition of Chocolate Rain. Chocolate rain makes you think you'll go insane. Those who don't know that are very young. Chocolate Rain?
I'm in that. I'm in that group.
Never heard Chocolate Rain?
I've heard it, but I'm not super familiar. I'm just
Okay.
cresting 30, so.
Well, when I first started using YouTube Vegas, the ads were 90 seconds long and you couldn't click off.
Oh, good grief.
Imagine that. Now you got a 90-second ad that you couldn't click off of.
I think they'd lose half their user base with the
Actually,
attention
I'd like
span.
to talk to you about that. It's probably not something you were expecting to hear, but as someone who teaches persuasion, influence, and hypnosis, one of the things I teach is that people's focus isn't what it used to be. So you can't rely on old selling strategies that assume, even if people want to hear your message, that they have the ability to open themselves to it and focus on it. So when people are going, don't give me that look, when I'm talking to the cat, when people are coming to you and they say, I want to create a Facebook or TikTok or YouTube campaign, do you think about that? About how do you capture focus and attention in the first 15 to 30 seconds such that people will listen to the rest of the message?
Sure. And a lot of experts would even argue it's 3 seconds that you've got to really capture someone's attention. Just like in person, humans are coming up with conclusions and making assumptions within seconds of encountering a person, a piece of content, a page on social media. And you've got exactly that much time to intrigue them enough to want to continue exploring into your content before they scroll to the next thing. It's turned into a soundbite attention economy, to where in some ways you can take advantage of it. It levels out the playing field because you no longer need to have these incredible production teams to come out with
Right.
content that goes viral. But at the same time, everyone is vying for that attention. And so it's never been so competitive to try to capture it, which is where I think I've tried to focus in helping people build authority, because what I've learned is that authority should be the precursor to attention. Because if you don't have that authority, you're a lot less likely to capture the attention of someone who's maybe interested in learning about the topic. Why would they listen to somebody who doesn't have the same qualifications as the next guy who's talking about the
Can
same
you,
thing?
can you define authority? Because to me, someone who's an authority is someone who can diagnose my problem and make me feel like they're inside my head more than someone who's a celebrity. I look at celebrities who are talking about politics, and I just have nothing but contempt for them. They hold no authority, no influence, no sway over me. So, what is your definition of an authority, and how do you teach your clients to establish it?
That's
Or
a
is
good
that the
question.
same? Is that the same as branding?
Yeah, I mean, they go hand in hand. I think authority is something that's built over time, and I think it is in parallel with trust and respect. In marketing, we have something called the like, trust, and respect funnel. And until you hold somebody's respect and trust, uh, the likelihood that they're going to see you as a person of authority is pretty low. But even in today's world, you can have all the qualifications in the world, but if someone doesn't like you, then they just cast you out as someone who's not an authority. And a great example of that is what we encountered in 2020 during COVID. We had medical experts on both sides giving opinions and their takes. And instead of listening to experts, we listened to pundits, people who were saying the things that we wanted to hear. So I think everyone's definition of authority is, although it's not a subjective thing, I think it's relatively objective, but with where people's attention is, it's become subjective as to, someone might hold you in high regard and the next person may not. And what determines that is really the relationship they've built with you over time. And sometimes that relationship is happening whether you know it or not, especially online. And what I mean by that is someone might send you a connection on LinkedIn. They might start consuming your content. And over time, as you continue to post and you continue to have these podcasts, then you turn into an authority figure over time because you've built that trust and respect. So I think, if I were to define it, it's somebody who's able to hold the respect and the trust of their audience.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But see, good questions. Thoughtful vibe with love for the planet. You just signed Alicia Outridge.
Oh, she's awesome.
Who is that?
Oh my gosh, she is a rock star. So we just signed her up, and she is one of the original Meta engineers that came on and built Facebook. She was actually responsible for building the algorithm that's used on Instagram ads to this day, along with two other patents that she's not able to disclose because of the NDAs. And she's now on the forefront of AI and is a keynote speaker that's been traveling the country as a woman in tech and somebody who's been using AI for 20 years now, while most of us have been using it for the last year, and we pretend like we're experts because we know how to prompt, a couple of commands. She's there building
Wait. Let me push back. What kind of AI was around that was possibly addressable or usable by someone other than a programming whiz or nerd? Surely it was only until OpenAI came around with something that was sourced and constructed so the public could use it. What AI was there 20 years ago?
According to her, AI has been utilized in the programming world for exactly that amount of time, about 2 decades. Where she said its use cases came in was in building algorithms and APIs and piecing together code. What the learning language models that we see today were built over time through trial and error with trailblazers like her stress testing the models. And they weren't nearly as sophisticated as we see them today, but the early iterations were assisting programmers on, writing code, building algorithm. And it wasn't until, here recently where they actually developed a open source that allows for communication. And I'm still learning about it, but when Alicia let me in on what she was able to do 2 years or 20 years ago, I was just blown away. And it just goes to show there's always another layer. The iceberg is always much deeper than you may think, and that's one of the things that I love about my gig is that I get to work with individuals that go deep. They go vertical. They understand things at a conceptual level, well beyond what we see typically online, and that's a lot of fun.
Love it. So, Master of Impact and Marketing Insight. So, let us see here. How do you tailor a narrative to make a leader's voice stand out while staying authentic to who they are? And to me, authentic is a buzzword. When I hear that word authentic, I undo the safety on my 45 because everyone, I mean, what the fuck? We can swear in this show. It's not a family show.
That's fun.
What the fuck does authentic even mean? So many people, to me, it's just an excuse for rigid,
Mm.
habitual, and unwilling to be flexible and behaviors and learn new ways of responding to the world and walking through the world. So, what do you mean by authentic and why bother?
I like that take. In a lot of ways in marketing, it is a buzzword. It makes people feel good because it makes people feel like they can show up and be themselves fully. But at the end of the day, when we're crafting campaigns, we're being really specific and intentional about which audiences we're speaking to, and we're tailoring the message to that audience. So can you call that authentic?
No, I
You
call
can't.
that wonderfully. I have no problem. I call that maneuvering. If you want to call it manipulating, whatever you want to call it, I think it's crafting a message so it resonates with people on multiple levels, some of which are outside of conscious awareness. I applaud it. That's what I teach. But is that being authentic or is it manipulative? I don't mind manipulation as long as it's got a good outcome and it's not lying or dissembling.
I think when we try to talk authentic with our clients when we're building out a brand blueprint, one of the things that we're really honing in on is consistency in the message. And I think that's where authenticity can really come through because if you're not at least consistent in the way that you deliver a message, in your tone, in the main core mission and what you're trying to deliver, then you're going to confuse your audience. And so I think in a lot of ways, authenticity is just consistency so that you can build trust and respect over time.
Your
If
microphone is cutting out something you're doing. Either you're hitting a button or moving something. I hear you, but every 15th word, excuse me, will drop.
All right, let me try this. Probably because of the way I got this set up. How's that?
Yeah. Good. Good, 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 good. Um,
So yeah, it's funny. There's a lot of words that I think have become buzzwords over the years that have almost been overused, weaponized, and beat to death. And I think authentic, empathy, these words, it's like we're almost getting sick of hearing them because they're overused. Ultimately, what we're trying to achieve is a consistent message that an audience can relate to over time. And I'm going to probably continue to come back to this concept of trust and respect because people forget that just because you're online, you don't do away with the principles that exist in real life. And in real life, we're not going to listen to someone that we don't trust. We're not going to listen to people that we don't respect. And for some reason, people have a disconnect when they're publishing content online that they think that they can say anything and that, it's going to be received by anyone. But if there's discrepancy in your message, if you're not consistent in what you're saying, if you're all over the place, or if you're not known for at least just one thing, one of the things that I really honed in on over the years is I want to be known as a PR specialist. And so now you're going to see it everywhere. You're going to see it in my name here on the Zoom. You're going to see it on my LinkedIn. You're going to see it in my email signature so that people continuously think of me as their PR specialist. That's what I want people to think when they think of me. Is that me being authentic? Hey, you never shared the name of this girl, right?
Lao Lele.
Lele.
Lao Lele.
Lao Lele. What's that?
It means dandelion in Hawaiian,
Oh, I love that.
but it should mean little terrorist,
Little shit.
little shit. All right. So you also do work with Clean Miami Beach.
Yeah,
Miami Beach of all the narcissists and
that's right. The
bubblehead.
land of the narcissist. That's Clean Miami Beach.
What is
And
that?
so it's a nonprofit that I came across about a year and a half ago. I've been living in Miami for the last 5 years, and man, was I starving for purpose. You come out here with the idea of living glitz and glamour and going out and seeing all the beautiful people out in the world and having a lot of fun. But that's all surface level and it starts to wear on you. And so when I went on a soul search to find an organization that I could just volunteer for, that's really what I was looking for. It actually turned into a full-time gig where they brought me on as an employee, as their impact manager. And I was able to deploy a lot of the real world strategies that I had developed as a marketer and a salesperson into the nonprofit realm. And it led to some really massive results for them. And to this day, I continue to be a volunteer. I'm no longer working with them full time, but I do grant writing with them. And I'm also coordinating something called the Clean Miami Beach Ambassador Program, where we're inviting people with over 100,000 followers on Instagram or social media and putting them through an application process to become an ambassador so that they can actually also represent Clean Miami Beach and have the chance to have, yeah, it's fun. And I think a lot of people are sick of the vanity online, the age of the vlog and the influencer just sharing their lives and all the highlights of their lives. No one,
Kardashians? Are
they,
people sick of the Kardashians? I never liked them.
Look, it's old news. People are sick of it. People want to see the real deal. They want to see you doing something meaningful, especially in the climate today where people don't know what the future looks like. We expect leaders and people of influence to do something meaningful with that influence, with that money. And there's almost been a demonization of wealthy, affluent, influential people. You could call it jealousy, but I think that it's a healthy pushback because I do believe that with great power and influence comes great responsibility. Who said that? I think that was
Spider-Man,
either a Rockefeller.
Spider-Man,
Okay.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Say it with me. Does whatever a
Whatever
spider
I
can.
can. And I believe that. So, Clean Miami Beach is my outlet. It's my opportunity to do good, not get paid for it. And I don't expect a paycheck, but the results that I've been able to bring for them have been nothing short of incredible. We've increased individual donations by over, I want to say 75%. Grant funds went up by over 150%. And it was all by deploying these real world strategies that I saw in marketing and sales and bringing them into the nonprofit realm. Because I think a lot of people get into nonprofit and they take the nonprofit a little too literally and they have no focus on lead generation, right? Or providing some sort of value or service to their donors. And that's what we really honed in on is how do we engage with the donors here in Miami Beach? How do we one of the challenges that we had with Clean Miami Beach was that we were only known as a cleanup organization where we were just doing public cleanups. But we were so much more. We were educators as well. And so one of the challenges that I was tasked with was bringing more attention around the educational programs that we have, where we're teaching kids about sustainability through art, and we're doing workshops with them. And so I was instrumental in helping facilitate that transformation from just being a cleanup sustainability organization to an educational advocacy platform. And the sky's the limit. It feels like it's a lot of fun working with them.
Cool bacon, cool beans. All right. So what's one actionable step other than getting in touch with you that entrepreneurs, creatives, or advocates can take to start building a brand that cuts through the clutter?
I think I want to give an answer that's not overstated or that you can just find something online. But at the same time, there's frameworks and sometimes the simplest of answers is the
That's
truest
fine.
of answers.
I don't mind simple.
Yeah. And I think if you do anything, try to find one word that you want to be known by. That when someone thinks of you, what is that one word? That
Batshit crazy.
I love it. Hey, that's 3 words, Paul, but I'll take it.
No, that's me. People say he's batshit crazy. The batshit crazy genius. He's a genius, but he's batshit crazy. Other way around. He's batshit crazy, but he's a genius.
And I know, it doesn't feel like an actionable step, but if you can get clear on that one word, then all of your content and all of your communication and your entire sales process can stem from that core message. So if you think about yourself and you can't think of one word that you want to be known by, then that's a good first step. That's where you should start because everything is going to follow after that. Because once you have that one word, then you can start thinking about creating content. Because if you're creating content at will, randomly as things come up in your life with no direction and no core message, you're not going to capture any sort of meaningful audience. You're not going to be talking to anyone directly. And in today's attention economy, you need to be speaking to people directly. I think a lot of people are afraid of being specific. And so they want to be general. They want to be able to talk to everyone, but
Right.
everyone is not interested in your message. There's only
Right.
a few people that are going to relate to what you've got to say and actually need what you have. So you can't be afraid to speak to those people directly. But before you speak, you got to know what the message is. And I think having that one word is a really good place to start. Because once you have that, I think everything else starts to follow. So for me, it's authority. I want people to when they think of me, they think I can become a person of authority and credibility with this guy. And so if you look at my social media page, I'm talking about authority in every which way possible in all the different ways. I'm talking directly to speakers, to authors, to consultants, to coaches, to executives, and I'm trying to really convey that message of this is how you become an authority figure in your niche. And that's where my focus is. I could talk about all sorts of things with the things that I've done: social media, sales, sales psychology, sales management, recruitment, ads. I've got a wealth of knowledge over the last decade and I'm sure everyone can relate to that, you've got a lot of stuff that you could talk about. And so it's tempting to want to talk about all those things, but you're
Right.
making a mistake when you do that. You should really find that one thing and stick to it.
All right. We're about at the end of our time here. Well, how does my audience stay in touch with you? How do they stay in the conversation with you? What do you have to offer to them that they can grab hold of and get more from you?
One of my favorite things to do is an audit. I used to be an implementer and an operator in the social media management agency that I used to work for. So I was part of fulfillment. And one of the things that we would do is audit profiles and then come up with a plan and a strategy of how to make it better. I'm an open book, Paul. I've come across individuals that have no business looking into PR, but they're just curious. They're window shopping. But what I'll do for them is I'll build out a step-by-step framework of what you need to do in order to get ready for PR. Because PR is fuel. PR is rocket fuel. It's not a part of the engine. If you don't have an engine running, if you don't have a website, if you're not posting on social media, if you're not having some sort of marketing engine running, then PR is not going to do anything for you. You need to get that stuff set up first. So if you want to get an audit to understand what you need to do to get ready for PR, please reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn, Christian Vegas Hampton. You can also follow me on Twitter or X. I go by Vegas. On Instagram, I go by Vegas. That's my handle. And just reach out and have me do an audit. I'll do an audit on your Google search results, on your website, on your social media. I won't try to sell you anything. I'll just give you a point in the right direction. And if that leads you back to me, great. Or if you go in the total opposite direction, great. Honestly, our mission over at Ace Branding is to serve those who serve others. And if you really are coming from the heart of wanting to serve, that means you're doing things without the expectation of getting something back. And I really try to take that to heart. So seriously, if you're curious about where you're at with your marketing and you want a third-party expert's perspective, reach out. I'd love to take a look at what you got and give you a point in the right direction.
All right, Christian, thanks for, Vegas. Thanks for being on the show. Stay with me in the green room for a brief chat. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, another great episode of The Influencer's Edge, and to the hostile alien armada hovering in your cloaked spaceships just outside of Earth's atmosphere, eat the Canadians first.
The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Rapid Sales Accelerator. If you're ready to skyrocket your sales by 30% or more in just 90 days, then you need to claim your free training right now. You'll learn 4 words that will compel your prospects to trust you like they were children within the first 3 to 5 minutes of any conversation across any platform and any medium. You'll learn how to give your prospects objection amnesia, to crush objections like, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need more time to think it over, or it's too expensive. If you'd like to claim your free training now, go to www.paulrossbook.com. Do it before your competition does it. Now. Thank you for tuning in to the Influencer's Edge, where you get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques so you can leapfrog over the pack in sales, influence, and persuasion. Remember to visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com to enjoy even more great episodes like this one. We look forward to seeing you again on the Influencer's Edge Show.